What is going on? Welcome to the Sync Producer Spotlight. My name is Jason Dowty. If this is the first time you've ever tuned into this show, what we do here is we're all part of the community called the Sync Producer Hub that is run by Anthony Clint Jr. And what we do is we learn about, we help each other uh, get our music into TV and film. And every other week, we just like to shine a spotlight on one community member to see how they make their incredible music, what success they've had so far, what their plans are for the future, and all of that. Michael Connor Music, I see you in the chat. He brings up a good point. He's like, the intro music is a little bit scary, might scare people away. It is, it's the day after Halloween, so yeah, I guess technically Halloween is over. So Michael Connor Music, I will see if maybe we can switch that up. Maybe we'll switch it up to something a little more upbeat. But today, we have Allison Hawkins in the house, straight out of Las Vegas. She recently met up with Clint and some others in an LA meetup, which is pretty cool. So we're going to talk about that. Every time she posts her music in the lives, it just sounds so professionally mixed and so ready for the big time. So I definitely wanted to get kind of peek in on her creative process and what she does and see if she has audio engineering background at all. I don't know. We're about to find out. So, KJ, what's up, KJ? Welcome to the Sync Producer Spotlight. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Allison on. Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. The summer heat has finally receded, and so days are beautiful, like 75 to 85. It's
Nice.
a you get toward the even into September, we'll have 100-degree day or so, and
Yeah.
you start going, is it ever going to get cool? But October is one of my favorite months out
That
here.
and for the Canadians in the house, that's 22 to 30 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I've I've learned how to translate because 'cause I'm originally from Oklahoma, but I moved to Canada, so, I try to, let everybody make this an international show. That's awesome.
It's
I actually
Zoom and this, you can. It's pretty awesome. That's one
every
of the
time
cool things. Oh,
and I know you're in a town, you said it, like, over the mountain from Vegas, right? In Nevada, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
It's, called Pahrump. It's an Indian word meaning water from the rock.
Mhm.
It it is a new town, like, I guess, development started in the 1950s with, cotton farmers.
Okay.
And there were all these underground springs, which watering the cotton sort of, changed that. In this town, there are basically five families that developed the town. One of those families, um, the patriarch, ended up being a senator in the Nevada legislature.
Okay, cool.
So,
I was wondering, I was like,
also,
how do you grow cotton in the desert? That makes
there were
sense.
these springs that they've
Yeah.
almost used up.
Awesome. That's cool, that's cool. What's not cool is Vegas because when every time I go, it's in July or August, and man, like, you think God hates you when you walk outside when that summer's hitting hard.
Yeah, my body's pretty good to about 103, 104, but past that, it's hot. Not this summer, last summer, it was terrible. It
Yeah,
was miserable.
humans are not made to be in that weather. That's yeah, I hear you there. All right, so let's talk about music a little bit. So, let us know how you got started. You can go back to your childhood if you want to, and talk about just how you got into music in general, or you can just pick it up with what you've been doing with music production. I'll leave it up to you.
Okay, I'll keep it as short as I can. Um, when I was 5, My parents were still married, and we had this big two-story house. Well, actually, in Alabama, most houses have finished basements. And in the basement, one room was the mud room, and the other area was finished with basically a nice room a big room where they had their parties, and a bedroom and a bathroom. And my dad had this hi-fi stereo turntable.
Mhm.
And my aunt Kyle moved in with us, and she brought all these rock and roll albums. I mean, Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore West East. And my dad loved music. I
Mhm.
got a passion for music. And during the 70s, you could hear anything on the radio. It was like pre-FM, so you could hear folk and rock and roll and blues and Motown and that sort of thing. And he had lots of albums, and I was allowed to listen to them. So at 5, he was a doctor, went to a private school. I took ballet and piano, so I learned the basics of music. Parents divorced, we moved away. But music, okay, I still have the albums that I got when I was like 8 and 9 years old.
Oh, geez. Cool.
And so later I went to school and wrote a memoir. But what I discovered in writing it, I discovered that, like most of us, we all survived our childhood. And, I learned certain feelings weren't really smiled upon. And what I realized in the writing of the memoir is I put my feelings in, like the ones they didn't like, into this box. And that
Mhm.
box was called music.
Mhm.
And when I wanted to feel, I could put the music on and feel those feelings. And so that's
Yeah.
what has always been just a part of my life. Um, got in with junior high school. I was in marching band and concert band. And my mom remarried, and my stepbrother at 10 years old started teaching himself to play guitar.
Mhm.
And I watched him put in those 10,000 hours. And it was like he was the musician, and I was going to be a writer because I had a talent for that. Graduate high school, go to the University of Texas in Austin, Texas, which is known as the live music capital in the world. Half my friends are in bands.
Mhm.
I wasn't. I was a great audience member because
Mhm.
I would go in and like tune into the energy and send them good energy when they were performing, because I wanted them to have a good show. So graduate, my dad got ill with cancer. I went and lived with him. He passed, he was only 52 years old. That's a whole nother story. And I was 26, and my dad didn't do any estate planning before he passed.
Mhm.
And I was given a chunk of money no 26-year-old should be given without supervision.
Yeah.
um, Long story short, I made it last um, 8 years. But during that time, I bought a keyboard, and I was a deadhead. And I found that I was good at filling the gaps around the rest of the instruments.
Mhm.
And I was in a Grateful Deadhead band for 2 years. And I it would I would say my greatest asset is my ear. Think of a photographic memory. My ear is like that. I can hear a piece of music once, sometimes just 4 bars, and I can recognize it again. I don't know why or how.
Okay.
And so then in 2000, I was broke. But I did find out people who spent their money on experiences over stuff and things are a lot happier. So I did it right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I moved out here in 2000, met my husband, had a child, and over the course from 2000 really until 2018, I worked for the newspaper for 3 years, had my own column. In 2013, I went to grad school and got Masters of Fine Art in Creative Writing and wrote a memoir called Music, Men, and Me, Tales of Acceptance. But
Hmm.
the music was a part of it. So in 2018, I was on Instagram, and one Saturday there was a live, and it said music industry contact. And I clicked on it, and there was Adam McGinnis who talked about the music business.
Hmm.
He was like 40, and he had been in and around it since he was 21. And he, at that time, had learned about sync and had over 200 placements. So that was the first time I heard about sync.
Okay.
And then, and I would, type in questions because I've written poetry since I was 8 years old. And after I graduated in 2015, I really just dug in on writing songs, and my goal was to figure out prosody. How did you fit the words and music together?
Hmm.
Because I was starting to write songs, but I had learned the piano at 8 years old. And I could jam. So it was like that part of my brain did not know the part of my brain that wrote lyrics.
Yeah.
So I'd been studying songwriting for about 4 or 5 years before I met Adam. And shortly after that, he created what was called the Billboard 500 Club. And it was artists, musicians, producers, songwriters, artists, vocalists wanting to go to that next level. And he brought in Grammy award winning producers and mixers and top liners, but he also brought in businessmen to talk about the business. So when I joined, I and he talked about in the Instagram lives that this was a long game. And so I joined during COVID in June of 2020, as I thought at the time, a lyricist, and I'd collaborate with the other members in the group. So I'm going to pause there to see if you have any questions or anyone else does. So really my
Yeah.
journey with sync was in 2018.
I gotcha. 2018. Yeah. Well, Jason Revels has joined us. What's up, Jason? I do want to touch on one thing that I think is really important that you in the beginning, when we started this journey, that I think sometimes we forget about, because we get caught up in, in our community, we're really focused, right? And we're driven and we're celebrating wins and we're creating daily habits and we all know it's a long game and we're putting in the work and all of that. When you said that you use music as your emotional escape. You called it putting it in a box. The whole purpose of music is to like get your emotions out and to create emotions in others and have like a genuine connection. So I'm really glad that you brought that up just as a reminder for all of us, like that little hit of dopamine and serotonin that you get when you're creating that music, like to create something that moves you and then you see it move others. Like that's what it's all about. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Sure. Adam, look, I'm getting goosebumps. He
Yeah.
had a way of breaking things down. And more than once, like during COVID, we would have these Monday motivations that he did on Instagram and Facebook. And he would just talk about his experience, and he would talk about how um, words are magic. If you take the word spelling, the word spell is in,
Magic spell. Yeah.
and that as musicians, we were alchemists. And our goal was, he would say, to get a reaction. He talked about in the old days when, let's say, Michael Jackson was making an album, he would get 40 or 50 songs. They would call them down to do making scratches. So they'd take in 20 songs and go through them. From those, they'd pick 10 to make a demo. And then, and the one factor was, did the songs make you react?
Mm.
And if they did, that caused a dopamine release.
Hmm.
And so he spent probably over the 4.5 years I was there, talked about that a dozen times or more, that we are out. And the thing I loved about him was he formed the BB 500 to create a group of like-minded folks, because his attitude toward the music industry right now was not positive. And so his mission was to create a group of people to create healing music for the world and shift the paradigm.
Okay.
And when I was 13, when I was writing and thought I'd be a writer, I had this moment where I realized that I wanted to leave a legacy and be remembered after I died, and figured it would be through writing. But a month after being in the club, it occurred to me, I can so many more people through music.
Hmm. Awesome. Well, let's hop into one of your tracks if you don't mind.
Okay.
I have Western and I have Luxury Car Commercial. Which one would you like to do first?
The Western. Now, COVID, we in COVID, and something I'm going to say is my body broke down in 19. Long story short, chiropractors overcompensated, and I had two vertebrae sitting on a nerve.
Eesh.
And 20, 21, 22, got that fixed, but my hip was shot, had no cartilage. 21, I was bone on bone. I could not walk. And I was in the club, so I just did music, but I had fun because it was like I knew it was going to take a few years to get good enough. So this Western track I made with Serum preset, and I'll admit the rest was with splice samples, but this wasn't really one to pitch. So this
Yeah.
is one of my first tracks I made.
All right, awesome. Let's get into it. I I think it's kind of brave to share one of your first tracks because like that's when we're learning, right? So it's gonna be cool to see the progression too. All
Okay.
right, so here we go.
Are we back on?
Yeah, sorry. The file still says it has 2 minutes left, so I didn't want to
Oh,
interrupt
I
you.
go. Yeah, that was the error as a first track or so.
Oh yeah, no
Someone,
worries. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
um, someone mentioned
Oh,
Clint.
I see. Hold on. There we
Oh,
go.
that was
There were
just
kind of it's like a
I.
two in one going on. All right, I got you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Someone mentioned Clint Eastwood and the music for those West spaghetti westerns, and I heard that too. That's one of the reason I just I what I have learned when I got into the BB 500 club is I found this Apple app called Launchpad,
Mhm.
and I discovered I have this knack, and I would say it's my ear that knows what sounds good together
Okay.
and how to arrange different samples at the time to work.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Um, if I remember right, in one of the recent lives, I think it was two lives ago. So, but we had like a week off, so maybe 3 or 4 weeks
Hmm.
ago, you'd played a song where your I think your daughter was singing on it. Is that right? Am I remember that correctly?
Yes.
How did all
Um,
that happen?
okay, so back from 2008 to 2011, I wrote for the local newspaper,
Hmm.
and I had my own column, which was to cover entertainment.
Okay.
And at that time, there was a thriving music scene. I mean, there was this one Sunday jam. at this one country western bar from like Sundays from 3 to 8, and there would be over 20 musicians there, and probably 200 people would come out. And so I worked there from 2:08 to 2:11, and I got to know all the musicians in town.
Okay.
And so I'd written that song, and I wanted to record it, and I reached out, and I owned the master, and we just threw it together, and they helped mix. It was back and forth, doing back and forth, and so it cost me a little bit of money, but not that much.
Okay.
And I had some really seasoned mixers that gave me feedback.
Gotcha.
And there's, I'd like to do more of those. So we'll see about that. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to do.
What DAW do you use? Like what do you mainly use?
Okay, when I joined, y'all can laugh. When I joined BB 520,
Hmm.
Ableton had a free 3-month trial. So I started on Ableton, and I managed to get it extended 2 more months.
Okay.
And then between that time and about 6 months later, with that third stimulus check, and I was able to buy this laptop and get Ableton Light. One time, Adam was talking about how if you're a producer, you might go into a studio and the mixers can't do it right then, but he'll say go in and pull your song up and you can work on it. And we all know that Pro Tools is the industry standard, and Logic and is for Apples. So during that time, I had found I downloaded Florida Beats and found this website that Crash ran, and for a month you could be part of his program in Florida. And there were
Okay.
all these downloads. I mean, I downloaded everything I could within that month. So I learned a little bit of Florida. I downloaded Pro Tools. It did not like my laptop. I downloaded Reason. I played on, y'all can laugh, on BandLab a lot
Yeah.
because they had this really cool mixing part.
Hmm.
They had packs, and I put something together, and then I would mix with their dashboard. And then, like June of 22, I got the laptop, and I got Ableton Light. So I've worked mostly in Ableton.
No, that's cool. I mean, really, it's like, does your DAW serve you? Can you get your ideas out? That's all that really matters. So I've definitely used some cracked versions of this and free versions of that, like learning the craft. Like I
Oh,
think probably,
Reaper too. I played with Reaper as well.
yeah. I'm sure we've all kind of started off that way, and then we're like, no, we can't be. We got to actually buy this thing.
That's true. I've yet to do a free download of Studio One,
Yeah.
and Adam from the club um, discovered that when that came out, several of his friends that weren't really vocal production people were able to get really good vocals out of Studio One.
All right.
So I am a nerd. I am always learning. It's always a deep dive before jumping into this. I have a love-hate relationship with eBay. But I spent a year studying studio art pottery. Then I got into costume vintage jewelry. And for the last 5 years, it's been music production and songwriting and all of that.
I gotcha. Well, let's talk a little bit about how you got into the Sync Producer Hub and maybe some things you've learned in our community and
Okay.
anything you wanted to add or something you've learned from Clint or courses or anything.
Yeah. What's interesting is when I realized I could make these instrumental cues, Adam actually said, go find trailer companies. But I didn't really have that confidence. And so Billboard 500 came to an end um, last December. It changed and focused on something else. So, like last fall of 24, I had stumbled upon his Friday night, Is Your Music Ready for Sync?
Yep.
And so that ended at the end of the year. And I started watching his Friday show, and it basically was what I was paying for my membership in BB 500.
Hmm.
So I told my husband, I said, okay, that's done. I want to join this. And it was so amazing because I immediately started going through the training videos. And it's like those 4 years of me learning how to make instrumental cues, I now realize I had a place that could help me take it to the next level. And so there was a lot of not really deja vu, but it was sort of like I was learning to be ready to do this. It was
Hmm.
like synchronicity. I've had a lot of synchronicity in my life, a lot of magic. And and I really like um, the the group, and like someone said, dropping in information like the free plugins, um, different articles. And it was in February that the March Madness came up.
Oh, yeah.
And I hadn't even begun to start researching music libraries. So I went through all the courses about that.
Hmm.
And then he threw in the Tune Edge brief and for March Madness. And I was able to, they accepted two of my instrumental briefs, and I was hooked. And
Yeah.
since then, right now they have 23 um, songs. But the other night, I got a little bit discouraged because I went to Chat GP. Oh, I'm going to put this in in our group. I
Yeah.
went to Chat GPT and I typed in, what are the percentages of acceptance for that pitch that we've all discussed before?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it was Chat GPT came back and said, actually, it's lower than like music libraries like TuneEdge that don't charge anything.
Oh, right.
It
Yeah.
did, okay, but it did say that if you have volume, sooner or later, you probably could get something that lands.
Yeah.
And someone in our group about a couple of months ago put in a YouTube interview with one of the founders of TuneEdge. Did you watch that one?
No, I didn't, huh?
I forget who it was. I bet if you put TuneEdge in the search, that video would pop up.
Okay.
And that was really informative. Like when a song gets accepted at TuneEdge, they do retitle it.
Yeah.
But that means I can still release that song on Spotify or YouTube. Like I was afraid that even if I gave TuneEdge exclusivity, I couldn't put it on Spotify. And they said, no, that just means you're not going to put that song at another music library.
Right, right.
Someone said Clint has gotten TuneEdge placements, but he told the story that there was one year it was for March Madness and he got it right in at the deadline and didn't get placements. But the following year, okay, so
It's KJ.
KP, yeah. But Clint did say the following year, several of the tracks he submitted did get placed.
Right. Michael Connor Music was curious if you had any placements from TuneEdge yet so far.
No, and Clint talked about this that he'll put like 10 tracks at a library.
Mhm.
And what my husband would say, phrase would be, and hide and watch.
Mhm.
And so I'm at this place where I'm writing down libraries that you guys are putting in the chat, like this piece of paper and
Yeah.
this piece of paper has libraries y'all recommended.
Yeah.
And I have so many. I do have a pretty good catalog, and I'll just send them different music.
Yeah. And, talking about, putting your stuff on Spotify, but you're with an exclusive library, I heard a good analogy for this type of thing where, if you think of your music, it's intellectual property, right? So if you think of
Right.
your music as property, think of it as like a house.
Mm-hmm.
The music library would be like the real estate agent, right? They can either
I
go out and
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're let's say you're at a party or something and you meet somebody that's in the market for a house, or in this case like a music supervisor or something like that, and you're like, "Oh, I have a house that's perfect. It's exactly what you're looking for. Let me get you in contact with my real estate agent," and then they can handle, managing your catalog and all of that. That's one way to look at it.
Well,
Uh,
recently, I've made contact with a music supervisor, and it's like I don't want to jinx it, so I don't want to give too much information away.
you don't have to.
But I will keep y'all updated. It's really interesting because what's happening, I truly thought was going to, reasonably take like another 6 months to a year.
Mhm.
And I'm sort of going, oh, I'm here. How do I want to proceed?
Yeah.
So
Um,
good stuff.
yeah, so Michael Connor Music, he's gotten a few tracks signed with them and approved and badged, but, not sure if they've been successful for the briefs that I've submit them for. Yeah, you just don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know you can use TuneSat to see if they're popping up. I actually see them. I'll have ones in my that'll show up in my ASCAP before they show up in TuneSat. So, but I didn't put all my tracks on TuneSat because I don't want to spend that much money. I don't want to
Well,
buy the subscription.
it's funny because I'm registered with BMI, and the um, first quarter royalties were given in August.
Hmm.
So I went there and there weren't any. But so then I went to TuneEdge and I only had 3 songs that were badged in January, February, March.
Gotcha.
So the next period is going to be April, May, June, and that will show in December.
Hmm.
And I'm in those 3 months, TuneEdge registered probably like 6 or 7 of my songs.
Gotcha.
So, but knowing that this is the long game, I will be 60 next March.
Hmm.
And it took me 55 years to find my purpose in life. And all of the women on my mom's side, I had a great aunt that passed away at 99,
Hmm.
and she was sharp as a tack. So I've decided I'm going to live to be 100 because I've got a lot of stuff to get done before I um, take off from this world.
Yeah. Who was it? I'm sure somebody in the chat's gonna remember this. I want to say it was DJ Jazzy Jeff. I might be totally wrong. If I'm wrong on this, please, you're gonna be mad at me if that's the wrong person. But they said "die empty." Like, has anybody heard that? And am I saying the complete wrong person? Because I don't know who said that.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Hunter S. Thompson,
No.
who wrote Fear and Loathing. He created gonzo journalism.
Okay.
And check this out. The way he taught himself how to write is he took Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, sat
Hmm.
down at a typewriter, and copied the whole book.
Yeah.
And because it was like typing, it went into his subconscious.
Hmm.
And actually, as a writer, when I have an adult say, I want to write a book, I will say, take a book, not your favorite, and copy it word for word, you know, do 30 minutes a night or so many pages, and you will know how to write by the time you're done. And he
Hmm.
wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and a bunch of others. And he had a quote of, when it's my time to die, I want to come in on a motorcycle and scream and in the dirt and get out and go, I'm ready, like that.
Okay. Yeah, Hunter S. Thompson, DJ Jazzy Jeff, they're probably the same person, right? Yeah, and, let's see.
He
Yeah,
lived
my
with
my
the Hells Angels for a while and wrote a book about that.
I gotcha. Michael Connor says, he heard that said by the late Dr. Miles Monroe, but it was a music producer. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. This is gonna bug me.
Okay. I
Die
love
Empty.
the internet for that.
It is DJ Jazzy Jeff. All right. But the whole idea is that you don't save your songs for anything. You know, you're not like, oh, I don't want anybody to hear this because it's not ready. He just says, make music and die empty, and I'll post it in the YouTube there. All right. Let's go into your. Speaking of music, let's go into your next luxury car commercial. What would you like to know?
Oh, okay.
Let us know about that.
There is a website called, I'm going to say it wrong, but it's like EVERANT. And they have a website that has lots of music and lots of other stuff.
Yeah.
And they put a brief out. This is a couple of years ago. And the brief was for a luxury car commercial. So
Mhm.
there were two options. They said either go huge cinematic or a little bit laid back, like a family going for a Sunday country drive. And so I had these backing tracks, but the piano on it is me playing.
Okay. So,
And I
alright,
made
let's
that one about 3 years ago.
I'm guessing you went with the, relaxing Sunday drive
Yes.
versus the cinematic. Okay. I was like, "Well, which one did you pick?"
Good guess.
Alright. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. Let's go.
Mhm. Aw, you're
There
too
we go.
kind.
No worries. Great work, great work. Alright, let me stop sharing. Alright. So what is in the future for Allison Hawkins or Hawkins Gold? I see it says Hawkins Gold. Is that your whole last name?
Um, Hawkins, that's the when I come to the Friday things, that's the email Allison Penn,
Right,
because
right,
my
right.
middle name is Penn, and I'm a direct descendant to William Penn,
Okay.
who established Pennsylvania. But Hawkins is my last name.
Okay. So, real quick before you get to what's in the future for you, Michael Connor wants to know if who was playing the acoustic. Do you know who was playing guitar on that?
That was a sample.
Oh, okay. No, that's all right. We're just curious.
Actually, it wasn't Splice. Like when I signed up, I have done my music on a shoestring to nothing budget.
Mhm.
And when you see things for free, you download them.
Yeah. And
And
let
go ahead.
I was gonna say, Michael Connor Music has this way of making his guitar sound like it's live with using a VST. I don't know. I don't know,
Ye-
Michael. Have you ever? I'll ask you. Have you ever done a strum effect like that to where you just sound like you're strumming? Did you ever do that in a piece yet? I'm just curious.
And what VST does he use? Because that I play piano, but I don't play. I don't play guitar, and
Yeah,
I
I know
need a
one
good one.
one really good one for acoustic guitar is called Songwriter from Orange Tree.
Okay.
Yeah, Orange Tree. Uh,
Orange tree. I
yeah.
can't wait for Black Friday.
Yeah, I'm waiting too. There's a couple things I definitely wanna pick up. And Michael Connor Music says, "Hey, no shame at all," right? We've all if it's free, it's for me. I'm with you on that. Alright, so
So,
what's next for you?
um, I saw a YouTube video of this guy that had been doing this a long time and has like 1,300 placements.
Mhm.
And there was a video where he was talking to a music supervisor. And with music libraries, it's a numbers game.
Mhm.
So the YouTube guy was like, to start singing and get traction, you I would have 50 tracks, not necessarily in one library, but 50 tracks. So
Mhm.
end of year, my goal is to get 50 tracks in other libraries. I'm also a writer, and haiku seems to be my strength. And I'm also a Deadhead. I saw 38 Grateful Dead shows between 89 and 95.
Mhm.
And so I am going to do this book of haiku of the highlights of the 38 shows I went to and self published. And a mutual friend had used AI for illustration.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping to get that up on Kindle and paperback by Thanksgiving. And just
Awesome.
still keep writing, still keep reaching out. I'm going to do this till I can't. And
Okay.
what's the last thing is like, yes, I am a good writer. I write well, but Jason, it always felt like homework.
Mhm.
And music, I wake up and I get to play every day.
Yeah. Well, you brought up a couple good things. Consistency, knowing it's a long game, um, and there was a third thing you said. Now I can't remember, but you
How
have like,
music affects us at the point of music.
yeah. I mean, there's that. But no, there was something else. Another like you have the right expectation. Oh, you set a numerical goal. Like I think that's a big part of it is like putting a target in front of us and then celebrating the small wins along the way. So you having a plan and saying, I want to get 50 tracks into music libraries by this certain date. Just having a smart goal and being consistent is like uh, puts you miles ahead of a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you have a good
Well,
plan.
growing up, look, I hate the word discipline. It's like,
Yeah.
like, but looking back, I realized that when I wanted something, I would figure out what I had to do to get there, and I just did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Just do it.
and
Action.
had, yeah, a step every day. So
All right.
I'm
Real
enjoying life.
awesome. That is great. And that's what it's all about, like waking up and doing what you enjoy. If you have the freedom to do that, you've conquered life, really. If you think about
And
it.
you have to keep a sense of humor. That would be
That
the
too.
last.
All right, real quick, Michael Connor says, "Have I tried the Strum Engine and Songwriter?" I've I've plucked in songwriter. I've done like muted guitar stuff in there for like R&B and hip hop type tracks. I have not used the strum effect in there or the key switches or the glides up. Like you can sound like a guitar player if you really know how to use that plugin. Maybe it's something to study for 2026. Like after Black Friday, if you pick that up, I'll pick it up too. We'll see what we can do with that one. All right. So, before we call the end of the interview, I do want to mention one thing. So, if anybody's watching this on the replay, because I know everybody so far that's been live in this that have has commented is already in the Sync Producer Hub community. But if you're somebody that's watching this a little bit later, you're watching a short little like version of it. What we do here is we're all part of the Sync Producer Hub, which is run by Anthony Clint Jr. And if you have ever thought about getting your music into TV and film, this is the place to be. We're all doing it. We're all getting our music into music libraries. We're all, we're getting placements. We're helping each other out. It has all of the courses, programs. Like Allison mentioned, every Friday night there is a live that Clint hosts, where not only does he listen to community members' music, he will, do a Q&A before that, where if you have any questions or you're getting stuck somewhere, he offers like that live support on a weekly basis, which a lot of other programs would charge extra for, you know what I mean? So like
Definitely.
he's like giving his time, and it's a really valuable community to be a part of. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link, or there is a link in the description, so you can check it out from there. Allison, thank you so much for your time. What do you have any parting words that you'd like to leave us with?
Oh no.
I put you on the spot.
One of my sayings is reality is relative,
Okay.
and the other one is you can't control a happy person.
Amen. Yes. If you have your inner peace, and you kind of understand that your triggers have nothing to do with them, it all has everything to do with you. You can't
And
control a
think of
happy
the
person.
world. That 1%, because so many people live in fear. And when you're in fear, you're not thinking straight and can be easily manipulated.
I love it. That's a great, like, words of wisdom. That is some wise words to end this on. Way beyond, that's life advice, not just sync advice. So thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Michael Connor Music, KJ, Ray. I saw you pop in for a minute. Everybody that joined today, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um, and we'll see you around in the